road glare into that camera is absurd from the oncoming headlight. Whoa. Dead car on the right. Nice view of the city, though, or the valley. That's okay. We'll just putter along here. We actually get to go back on 167 today, which is exciting. They've separated it out, and the bridge closure is only on the middle lane. Good morning, Mama Ophia. Yeah, so we get to run up 167 this morning in the carpool lane. So that's exciting. Hey, Demoose. Crazy people already out on the road. Yeah, they reconfigured the bridge closure on 167, so only the middle lane is closed, which means I can run the carpool lane all the way up. And now that they have cameras taking pictures, people that are not supposed to be in the carpool lane aren't in it, so the traffic jam isn't bad over there. So we're going to try it this morning and see how it goes. Hopefully it looks as good as it did when I was coming back last week. Because my bet is it's going to be a high price to go up the carpool lane this morning. Well, not higher than I've ever paid before, but high priced. And people who don't belong there will get a ticket in the mail or a bill in the mail to run it, which is funny. God, I hate these at signs. Azrael, hopefully I didn't screw that up too badly. Good morning, hi. Welcome in. Still dark, and it's going to get worse until we get to Christmas. We'll probably be doing 80% of this drive in the dark as we get closer to Christmas. Luckily, I've got an iPhone 15, which actually does really well in the dark, other than the headlight glare. And I don't know if you guys are seeing the glare, but I'm sure seeing it in the camera. Hey, Lee, welcome in, bud. I even washed the inside of the windshield. All right, that's the carpool lane, and we are in business. Well, it was a rough week for us out here in Washington. We were without power for about 4:45 on Saturday until 8:30 Monday morning. House got down to 54 degrees, and it was miserable. No power means no heat and no nothing else. The power outage was widespread enough so cell towers were down. Sunday night we actually got bored enough to drive into town just to get on YouTube for a little while and check emails and stuff. Put the puppies in the back seat and away we went. Alright, here comes the traffic. Stacking up to collapse down that right lane. What am I doing? I am driving up to a doctor's appointment. It's about, with traffic, it's about an hour and a half drive. And I do this every Tuesday morning. And this is certainly paying off. House still isn't back up to temperature. Like I said, it got down to 54 degrees by Monday morning. Poor Civvy got up and took a cold shower, and just as she was about to walk out the door to leave for work, power came back on. And by the time the sun came down last night, we were only up to 69 degrees in the house. Hi, Share Bear. Thanks for stopping by, dear. Really? They're collapsing us too. Well, what the hell? This was going all the way through last week, going northbound. Well, we got way ahead before the collapse happened, but crap. All right. Thank you for coming by, dear. I appreciate the thumbs up. Well, at least this is right where it starts to all collapse down. Maybe they've got us collapsed into 2 lanes over here, and the carpool lane is closed. But it will only be for a little bit. Yeah, if this was going to collapse to 1 lane, I would have thought it would have been really slowed through here, so. Well, we only got about a quarter of a mile like this, so that's not too bad. I can live with that. We still made great time getting through the traffic. Okay, so Sibby was able to get a little bit better signal, and I don't know why. She was sitting 2 feet to my right, and she was able to get a little bit of phone signal. There we go. But all I could do was play the 2 games I have that I can play offline, and those got old real quick. But the birds survived. Luckily, we hadn't restocked the aquarium yet, because the last 2 times we lost power, we lost fish. And we were all snuggled up on the bed at night under a bunch of blankets. Dogs were all under the blankets. Cats were snuggled up right against us. They didn't want to get under the blankets, although Leroy considered it for a while, and then decided it was a bad idea. Yeah, that wasn't bad at all. We'll start running 167 again. That's cool. I can live with that. And obviously I got to stop at the grocery store on the way back. And then clean out the refrigerator when I get home. At least a little freezer. I'm afraid to open the big one. Wait till everything is back and absolutely solid again, and then I can break it apart and throw it out. That's pretty wild. They good to go reader boards aren't even on. Yeah, the system's, this is a free ride. The system's not even clocking my pay-to-play sticker. But I'm legally allowed to be here, so I'm staying here. Oh, now it's turned on. We'll see if the next light flashes when I go under it. God, people just don't pay attention. The guy in front of the van in front of me just crashed in between 2 cars. If the van hadn't slammed on the brakes, it would have been a pileup. But it's definitely nice now that they have the cameras up. All of the people that aren't supposed to be in the lane aren't in the lane, and so it's actually moving. Now, they may have deactivated those sensors, so we'll see if I get flashed at this next one. Lights are on because it's night, but yep, there's the light. That one got me. Hey, Bern, good morning or good evening. If you can't tell, we're back down on 167 again. They've reconfigured the bridge closure, and so it's actually not too bad at the moment. So we'll keep running this for a while. Well, I'm not going that far. $4.50 to get up to the end of this freeway. That's actually kind of cool because now they're not charging you. It used to be a flat rate, $15 from Highway 18 where the carpool lane started to get all the way to where the freeway ends. And I get off halfway up. And now with the new setup, you pay for the section you run on. Hi, Chef. Thanks for stopping in, dear. I know you're about to go live. Have a good show, honey. If I get done early enough, I'll jump, or if I get in and out of the doctor quick enough, I'll jump on with you. And while I'm sitting there doing nothing. Thank you for stopping in. All right, am I back now? Hello. Am I still here? Somebody, anybody? Earth's anybody. Hey, Ed, am I here? Hello. Can you hear me? Cool. Thank you, sir. Sorry, I had a reconnect hit, and all of a sudden everything went gunny sack. I had to reset it. Anyway, yeah, running up on 167 was definitely a plus, but there's still lots of little pockets. If you look at the outage map, there's pockets all over the place. Our group had 1,804 people without power, and we were kind of stuck that way for a long time. Morning, Des. Thanks for coming in. It was a rough 3 days, 2.5 days. Cool, I'm back. That was kind of weird. In the middle of nowhere, all of a sudden it said reconnecting, and then I guess I was gone. Anyway, yeah, I lost me too. Except I didn't know I lost me. Frequently when it does that reconnect thing, I come right back, and then all of a sudden, like everybody dropped off, or it looked like everybody dropped off. So I did a reset on it, and then we were back and good to go. But anyway, looks the same. Yeah, except it's probably a little bit brighter. We're still in the morning hours of dawn. Um, but yeah, it's definitely overcast at the moment. It's still dark there at 9:40 in the morning, or is it just that it's that kind? Oh, it's okay. It's rainy. Yeah, yeah. When it's rainy nasty, it gets dark here too. This is just pre-dawn hours, kind of. But I guess they had gusts up into the 90s when that storm hit, and we didn't get much warning on it. I mean, we got high wind warnings during Jonesy's live on Saturday. So what? That was an hour before power went out, and normally we get them a day or so in advance. Yeah, it's. I've lived here my whole life, so I'm used to it. But it doesn't really rain as much as. Hi, honey. I had the dogs dressed for you. They just have their little harnesses on, though. But they'll be fine because they'll come out and do their business and then lay down and leave you alone. And I'll go get propane today. Yeah. The two times I was up during the night, they were zonked out, belly up, and they don't do any business. Okay. All right, out on I-5. Hey, honey, I went up 167 this morning and it wasn't bad at all. Carpool lane ran right up to where the bridge is damaged. Then I had to get over in the right lane, and two lanes are still open. That was for about a quarter mile, and then right back into the carpool lane, and away you go. Okay, get over a couple of lanes here, and then we're ready to settle and putter along at Mach nothing. Now we can get over one more. Well, you changed lanes over the top of me, dude. Don't honk at me. Hey, Frank. Thanks for dropping in, bud. A dog tail, that's Frank. We met Frank last night on Katie's Live. All right, now we're in slowdowns for a while. God, I hate these @ signs. G Harb, is that? Well, hi. Yes. Okay, that's who I thought it was. Thanks, Matt. These @ symbols are killing me, dude. Thank you. Literal birds, yeah. Anyway, we got about a half mile of this and then it'll open up again for a little bit. But I'm so far ahead now. That made such a huge difference on 167, being able to do it the way it's being done now. Yeah. So hopefully they can get me in earlier and then I can get out earlier. That'd be cool. But yeah, 2.5 days of no power meant no heat, no nothing. So we went into town twice. Once to get food and once because we were bored. So we went into town and Sibby bullied Katie into going live. Although it didn't really take much bullying. No, we came all the way into town and nobody's live, and so Katie went live. But it was a good time. We sat in the parking lot of Baba Louie's for about an hour and a half. So that was our entertainment for the weekend. It's kind of weird. She could occasionally get enough signal to watch, to see a little bit of YouTube. I could get any. And I'm sitting 2 feet to the left of her when the dogs are out on the front porch. In the house, we got nothing. Phones kept saying, do you want to send that message via satellite? And if you say yes, then it says run around and point the phone at the sky until you find a satellite. Yeah, we were running off of Baba Louie's Wi-Fi. Even that was kind of weird. There are 2 grocery stores that sit side by side, Fred Meyer's and Safeway. Safeway didn't have power. but Fred Meyer's did, in the Fred Meyer's parking lot, which is where Bob Louie's was. On the same side of the street, 1,000 feet apart. Yeah, it was just weird. There we go, now we're moving. But everybody survived it. And I'm rethinking my heating system. It's old and time to be replaced anyway, so we're gonna build a hybrid system. We don't have natural gas out where we are, so when we bought the house, I put in a heat pump. Which actually works really well, but it's getting old and worn out, so it's time to change it out. So I'm going to put in a dual fuel hybrid system, and we'll set a propane tank outside the house, and so the heat pump will run off of electricity and use the blower from the gas furnace to blow air through the system. And we have plenty of hot water now, dear. I had to fill up the aquarium today, so I was playing with the hot water. But that way we can... A heat pump cannot be run off of a generator unless you've got a really big generator. But a gas furnace can be. So I'll set it up so that the gas furnace can be hooked up to the generator and run off the generator, and then we will still have heat. So that will be a big improvement, and then we won't have these problems anymore. Oh, I forgot to tell you, dear. About 8 o'clock last night, I got a notification from Comcast that our internet was back up. Boy, the colors are finally really coming in on the leaves. I don't know if it's light enough out for you guys to see them, but Yeah, where the power lines run. Yeah, those guys are so bright. Asplin is our local company that's in charge of cutting trees and branches away from the power lines, and they really do a horrible job of it. Hence all the power outages. I mean, some of it was just blatant wind and trees falling, but every year you watch them all summer long trimming trees, and they always trim them in areas where it really wouldn't matter. Okay, now we're back in it the rest of the way up. But you can see off to the right, we're seeing some bright oranges now. And some yellows. I posted a picture of our hill on my community page or my post page of the hill out in front of the house, and the colors are finally coming in up there. And when I get home, I'll grab a picture of the cherry tree across the street. The windstorm took some of the leaves, but from what it looks like now to completely naked in the next few days. And Cindy, being who Cindy is, she's a little leaf chaser, so she'll have a blast. And I'll try and get some video of her chasing leaves. Something other than just her spinning, which she still does all the time. Just that I can't always catch her doing it. Yeah, it's definitely a gray day up here this morning. I figured a lot of it was going to burn off, but I don't think so. Another plane coming into Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. Looks like a 57 Chevy coming out of the sky. Headlights on a 57 Chevy. Not so much now, we can only see one light, but I realized that when I was a kid. Let's see, what else is new and exciting on the home front? We had to miss another show on Sunday. Obviously, no power. That sucked. But we'll be back next Sunday. Offhand, I don't recall what the ingredients are, but actually I remember one. I know we got Captain Crunch, but I don't know what else. I don't remember what else it is offhand. Yeah, fall is when we get our bad storms usually. Occasionally we'll get something January, February, but those usually involve ice. The worst one we had, that was probably 7 or 8 years ago. First we had snow and it came down, and we actually had a really big snowfall. I think we had like 18 inches or 2 feet. And that was followed by an ice storm. And there was so much ice on the trees that limbs were just busting off constantly. And I think we were 4 days without power at that point. At that point, we had a propane stove. Well, we still have it, but it's not hooked up anymore. Because it didn't do a whole lot. Our propane in the tank was low, and I called and asked to fill it up. It did not get to us. And they finally showed up like the 3rd or 4th day. But we went the first 3 or 4 days without anything. We do have a massive fireplace, but you have to put a whole cord of wood in it to get any heat out of it. It's a big double-sided fireplace. And it's beautiful. Looks really cool. And with a fire in it, it looks really cool. But it's so big that most of the heat goes up the chimney. It's in the kitchen and in the living room. Yeah, the ice was bad. I mean, we were out with the dog, and I mean, it sounded like gunshots in the distance, and it was tree limbs busting off of trees. And it was, I want to say it was like 2 inches of ice that fell on top of the 2 feet of snow. At that point, I think there were 4 4-wheel drive vehicles in town, and I had one of them. Neighbors were asking me to go out and get hot food for them. Because I could get around in it with no problem. But yeah, so that was our weekend. Wasn't fun. Luckily, we have a smart bed. So once the power did come on, I could turn the beds on last night, and we got to sleep nice and warm last night, even though the house wasn't up to temperature yet. And everybody survived. Birds are all fine. And I'm already getting it from my apprentice. I don't know what that kid can't remember about Tuesday mornings. I go to the doctor and I go live, dude. Don't bother me. Unless your ass is on fire, don't call me. And somehow I don't think, are you up yet? Is your ass is on fire. I have been live for an hour, and I should probably, there ain't much left in this. We got about another 4 miles, and then we get off the freeway. Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, he's a good kid, and the only thing he really lacks is confidence. It's always, I mean, occasionally he gets a head scratcher, and I don't have a problem with it. But the same questions get old after a while, and it always ends with a statement. I'm just checking, just making sure. You okay, bud? But you know this shit. Anyway, like I said, I got about another 5 minutes of this drive, and then we were going to have to end it anyway. So I think I'm probably going to shut it down now, and I'll see y'all back going the other way in a bit. And I'll remind him that I'm live, and we'll go from there. So I love y'all. Thank you all for being here this morning. And sorry, I got caught up looking at something. We got big planes in the holding pattern. I mean, they're not very far apart. That doesn't happen very often. Anyway, all right, guys. I will see you all later. Thanks for being here, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.